Hello and welcome to the Logical Indian and Infano. I'm Apurva Srivastav, and today I'm in conversation with Tisca Chopra, who's an actor, film producer, and an author, and she's also written a book last year, which is titled "What's Up with Me." Tisca, you've written this book, "What's Up with Me," which is sort of a conversation starter between parents and teens on puberty and periods. It demystifies menstruation and puberty for young girls. To begin with, could you describe the role of parents and guardians, giving menstrual health education?
I think when families were much larger, this kind of information was passed on through cousins, sisters, aunts. And as families smaller and smaller, and now we're barely a 3 or 4 unit family, it's extremely important that girls and boys get the right kind of information at the right time, because otherwise they're going to get misinformation, and that is extremely dangerous because it can cause psychological damage. While researching the book, I found out that a lot of the kids, girls particularly, were thinking that there's something wrong with them, and that can be very dangerous, right? If they start thinking there's something wrong with them, rather than understanding that this is natural. Some others feel that, oh my god, have I got pregnant? Somebody else gives them some other information, so they don't know the basics of it. And also, I think very important is not just menstruation and puberty, but also like hygiene, which comes with that. Given the fact that we live in such a hot and humid country, we need to make girls and boys aware about hygiene, and also the right kind of nutrition, because their bodies are growing, and they need a substantial boost at that time. Plus the psychological changes that they go through mentally with developing breasts, and the Adam's apple and the cracking voice and hair sprouting, and of course the big P, the periods. So we need to have the right kind of information, and parents in a very small setup like a nuclear family become the only source perhaps who can give them the right kind of information at the right time.
Right. So, Tisca, could you talk about how to ensure that the language is right? The conversation is right, especially when, it is the first time being spoken to a child about periods and puberty. It's simultaneously also ensuring that, young kids are not taking it as jargon and, being overburdened with information and lecture.
So what we've done, and I think it's worked out well for us so far, is that we've kept everything to its basic name, to its biological name. Breasts are breasts, vagina is vagina, a penis is a penis, a whatever is a whatever. So there is no requirement to embellish things and make it, to talk about it in terms of birds and bees and all of that, thinking that children don't understand, because they truly understand. They're just young, little small sized adults today. They know everything. And when you speak to them very frankly and say, well, this is about your body, then they're naturally very interested to know that, it is their body. You can, spend some time with them in the bathroom and show them various things and say, okay, this is what is this, this is this, this is this. And that kind of helps them understand their own body. So my daughter's really like sort of unself-conscious in that way. And I feel that she read the book, What's Up With Me, and she read it in one go. And she had so many questions that, what is this? What is that? I said, read the book, get your answers. And if you still have some questions, we can still talk about it. Growing pains, what is the right age to wear a bra? There's so many things that happen at this time. So I think it's important that one speaks to them frankly, clearly, and in a precise manner.
So, Tisca, if I may ask, how was, the topic of menstruation sort of introduced to you?
It wasn't. No one spoke to me. I learned from friends and cousins, and I was given all kinds of weird information, and I had to make sense of it myself, because it wasn't something my mother said, yeah, you know what, yeah, it's perfectly normal, and all of that she told me, but not before I got my period. I would have really liked to know that this is something that is going to happen, and then sort of mentally prepare myself for it. But that didn't happen. So I made sure that I told my daughter well in advance.
Right. So, Tisca, do you think it's important to bring cisgender heterosexual men, into the conversation? Make them a part of conversation around menstruation?
that's the reason, part of the reason I wrote the book, because you go to a chemist shop even today in a city like Mumbai, and you ask for either tampons or pads, they will give it to you wrapped in a newspaper as if it's something shameful. Fathers will not talk to daughters about their period, or mothers and fathers. It's such a normal, natural, biological process. And if it isn't brought into the mainstream and normalized and regularized the conversation about it, then I think that we are, it is just one more way to put women on the back foot. It's because before periods, boys and girls are the same. They're like bache. And right after you get your period, it becomes ki yahan nahi karna, ye nahi karna, wo nahi karna, wo nahi karna. That's where the segregation starts. So I think for me, the really important thing was, through writing the book, was to make sure that fathers and daughters sit and read the book together. Mothers and sons sit and read the book together, so that there is a total normalization of the entire process. Because, boys also should know what's going on. I mean, because 50% of Earth is going through something and you don't know about it. Like, why? Why would you not know about it? Shouldn't you know about it?
Absolutely, absolutely right. This is true not just for Mumbai, but I think for the entire country. Tiska, now my next question is why? What changes, particularly in mental health space and situation, would you like to see in India, 5 years from now?
I would like to see there be sanitary pad and tampon dispensers in public loos across the country. I'd like to see eco-friendly pads being made more easily available, because the plastic in sanitary napkins is a huge component of sort of ruining the planet. We need eco-friendly options, biodegradable options. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see uh, it being menstruation, puberty, breasts, the female genitalia being made a part of normal discussion. So, in schools and colleges. So I think that is very, very important, that these things are discussed normally. Like, a girl should be able to say, yeah, I'm sorry, I have my period right now, so I won't be able to do my PE class today. And it's like a normal conversation, rather than, oh my god, there's hush hush, nudge nudge, wink wink. There's nothing nudge nudge, wink wink about it. I mean, it's like a normal thing. You got your period, okay, good, yeah, it's a normal thing. Like, somebody's got a wisdom tooth, or it's a health thing. It's got nothing to do with it.
Right. So, Tiska, lastly, what is your advice for parents who find it difficult still, to talk to their children about bodily changes and, since we're talking puberty and periods?
I don't know. I think you want your child to be powerful in this world. You don't want your child to be weak, and knowledge is power. So to me, I'm defranchising my child if I'm not talking to my child about these things, and talking to her or him in a way that is logical, precise, informative, and giving the child full power to lead his or her life in a way that they are informed and they can help others around them. That, I think, is the central idea. And why would you not want to do that? I mean, it escapes me that any parent would not want to give their child this advantage. Why would you not want to give your child an advantage? You'd want your child to have every kind of information. You teach them about finance, you teach them about the physical world, safety, you teach them about everything else, but you don't teach them about their own bodies. That to me is like seriously obtuse. Why on earth would you do that? I mean, wouldn't you want your child to know everything that they can know about their bodies and the bodies of I mean, if you have a boy, then you'd want him or her to know what his or his classmates are going through, and the opposite is true for girls as well. I mean, you'd want your daughter to know what male puberty is like, what boys go through. So I think that's just sensible. I don't think there's any rocket science there.
Right. Tisca, thank you so much for finding time to talk today.